Hello, Sanford. You are listening to Sanford Sports Radio, and this is The Howler. I'm your host, Jonathan West, and folks, we came off of a huge win last week, and the fans were ecstatic. I was ecstatic. Tanner Patrick, you saw the look on his face after the game when he was named player of the game. He was ecstatic. The best game we have seen from Tanner Patrick all year and probably in his career here at Sanford. Well, now we get to go from that to senior day, the last home game of the year, unless this team can maybe pull out a MAC conference victory. There are only 2 weeks left. 2 weeks left. We have Akron this coming weekend, and then Western Michigan next weekend. So there are 2 more chances for Miami of Ohio to take a big L and give Sanford a fighting chance at the MAC title. So we still gotta hope that Miami of Ohio takes a loss at some point coming up. Doesn't matter who beats them. We just gotta hope that they get beat. Now let's talk about recruiting here. Byron Gerard, the fullback, has a visit next week with Boston College, and it sounds like he will be making that visit. So that's a little worrisome, I would say. Samson Stratton also has a visit. He's going to be going to FAU from what I know. That one also is worrying the coaches a bit. From what it looks like, though, it seems a couple of these young guys aren't going to be committing just now, which means there's a chance to fight for them in the off season. So hopefully Sanford gets a good opportunity in the off season for guys like Stratton and Gerard. They've been top targets all year long, and now, this is going to go probably to the offseason where it's going to be a tug of war to see who really wants to bring in a recruit more. Guys like Marvin Clark, Josh Williams, and John Scott, well, they're getting more and more interested. With Josh Williams, he does want to go to Texas A&M, but there is no scholarship there. Of course, he was offered the scholarship to Sanford, so we'll see if that plays a factor at all in his decision. Scott right now is leaning towards Sanford. He does have the other big schools on his board, but of course the number one quarterback in the nation sees a full ride, and I would hope you take the full ride over anything else. Same situation for Jeremy Williams, although I think Williams is extremely excited about coming to Sanford at this point. More news on Pat Lewis. It's the same situation. He is just in dire straits hoping for Oklahoma to offer that scholarship. If that scholarship comes from Oklahoma, you can expect Pat Lewis to be there. But until then, he's kind of keeping Sanford, I believe, as a second option. Antonio Perkins, it sounds like he's going to be headed to Oregon State sooner rather than later. So the young tight end out of Manhattan Beach, California, probably not going to be a Coyote anytime soon, sadly. And finally, Wayne Nobles, the tackle. It's a battle from what it sounds like. It's a battle between Sanford and Nevada. We'll see who comes out on top. He is very, very hesitant to leave the Mountain West Conference area. So we'll see if Nobles wants to jump from Hawaii all the way to Sanford. That's a big jump there. Now when it comes to commits, there were some this week. Eric Peters has committed to the University of Georgia. He'll be staying home. That's a tough loss to see. I was hoping Sanford could pull him in and add him to that big D-line. Albert Lynch, the middle linebacker, he'll be headed to Iowa. He's going to play for the Hawkeyes next season. That's a talented kid going there. But it's a little disappointing that Sanford couldn't pull him in to add him to that linebacking core. Sam Morgan, the defensive tackle from Houston, he'll be staying in Texas and he'll be playing for Southern Methodist next year. So SMU got a big DT coming to them. Now for the MAC Players of the Week, it's all Western Michigan this week as Obi Jackson, the corner, and Anton Curtis both have some nice days against NIU in their close W. So keep this in mind. Those are two guys we'll be seeing next weekend. Not this week. It's all about Akron this week. But Western Michigan going to be a tough fight like they always are next weekend, I'm sure. Now, off to the conference standings, and what I find interesting is Sanford is number 3 in the standings. Bowling Green's right ahead of them right now. They have the same record in conference, but of course Sanford leading in the division. They lead in the division record at 2-0. So I'm a little surprised that Sanford's number 3 on the standings. So, that one surprises me a bit. Other than that, I think everything else is kind of expected at this point. Miami of Ohio's on top of things. Western Michigan is the top school right now on the western side of the conference. So, it'll be interesting to see if Western Michigan can keep that and if Northern Illinois can fight back with a couple of upsets possibly. I do believe they have, if I'm certain, we'll be going over the schedule here in just a bit. However, first, let's touch on early bowl projections. Right now, Sanford is projected to play in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, and it's against New Mexico. So that's a matchup we've never seen before. The Lobos of the University of New Mexico are currently the projected team they'll play. But, it's early in projection, so don't get too attached to that ball game. And I was right here, as the schedule states. It's Akron, of course, and Sanford, which is bound to be a fun one. We'll see that one. Kent State at Toledo, Western Michigan at Central Michigan, Bowling Green at Ohio. Miami of Ohio heads to Northern Illinois. So, Coyote fans, for the first time ever, we're cheering for the Huskies. We need NIU to beat Miami of Ohio. So, I'll tell you now, we'll be covering any updates I get during the game for that. I'll tell you that much. As Eastern Michigan will also head to Buffalo. So let's talk about this week's game and the matchup here against the Zips. And really, there's not much to cover. This Akron team is talented, but they are young and hurting. They do not have their number 1 runner in Van Edwards Jr., and from what I've been hearing, they are not going to have their starting quarterback right now. It sounds like they're going to have a freshman starting for them. We'll go over this a little bit more when we touch on kind of the players to watch this week. But I would be surprised if a lot of their starters are really out there. They've got some offensive linemen that are probable, but right now it's a very iffy situation for Akron injury-wise. Now, Sanford luckily has not faced much of an injury bug. We've had the concussion issues, which have been scary to see. Not only to Tyrone Jennings, but to Claude Fleming, especially earlier in the season. Now, we're going to have to keep that in mind. Of course, Tyrone Jennings was out last week because of the concussion. They didn't want to bring him back. He will be playing this week, though. I have gotten confirmation from Coach Wolf that Tyrone Jennings will be part of that tandem backfield with Claude Fleming. So the original 1-2 punch is back together for Senior Day, which is nice to see. It'll be a much bigger game for Tyrone Jennings next year in his senior year. And from all I've heard, Cato Nelson, the sophomore quarterback, will not see the field. Now, I don't know if he'll be healthy by game day or if he will be sitting on the sidelines with a clipboard in his hand. But right now, it does not sound like he's going to be out there on the field. He's had a decent enough season, but that makes room for freshman Joel Harris. Now, Harris has only 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He hasn't really played a ton, and the passing completion percentage is just terrible at 38.2%. So, right now, this is a great matchup against this defense that has been kind of the backbone of Sanford's team. So, with that situation, I like what we're seeing. Another good situation is they don't have Van Edwards Jr., their number 1 runner, and the best offensive player on their team, if you ask me. This guy is dominant. He's had 5 rushing touchdowns this year and over 750 rushing yards. So this is taking a big piece of their offense out, and they've got to fill that with the other runners on the team. We'll more than likely see their fullback kind of take over in the starting role, but we will see a little bit of James Parker, the sophomore running back, as he'll be running as kind of the number 2 guy to Newman, who is the fullback normally. But it looks like from everything I've heard and seen, he'll be getting probably most of the running back carries. And of course, can't talk about a team without talking about their number 1 receiver. And just get ready for this name. Quadarius Smith. He's the guy we're going to watch. He's 5'9", so height advantage goes to Richard Cruz. We'll see how that matchup goes throughout the game for sure. As also on the defensive side of the football for Akron, you got to watch Kyron Brown, the number 1 cornerback there. Of course, with the history of interceptions with Sanford and Tanner Patrick, that's always going to be something we watch. But if he can play as good of a game as he played last week, that ain't going to matter. He played extremely well. Tanner Patrick played extremely well and extremely safe last week. If he can do the same thing, this should be a big W for Sanford. Senior Day this coming weekend, folks. We will see you then, as that's all the time we've got for this edition of The Howler. Thank you for listening to Sanford Sports Radio. I've been Jonathan West, and we will see you this weekend. Hello, Sanford. You are listening to Sanford Sports Radio. And I am Jonathan West, and it is game day, folks, as it is time once again to defend the den. Hashtag defend the den here in the Sanford City Stadium, as it is senior day for these seniors here in Sanford. And talking to Coach Wolf, I asked him how he feels about this year's senior day, because a lot of these seniors are guys that really have been the backbone of this team. And he said it's going to be tough to watch these guys go at the end of the season. I asked him specifically about Richard Cruz and Trey McLaughlin, 2 of the leaders of that defense. And he said those 2 especially, with the year Cruz has had, I wouldn't be surprised to see him as an NFL cornerback within weeks. So you can expect a lot of high praise for these seniors, no matter win or lose this week. Coach Wolf loves these kids, and it's going to be fun to see these seniors play in their last game at home, as that one's booted away by Sammy Carter, and Mike Hayes takes this one up the middle. That's a 30-yard return to begin things here in the den. As out comes this offense of Akron, quarterbacked by freshman Joel Harris, as Harris drops back early off the shotgun. That is Newman Williams, and that is a fullback who just took that reception, brought down by the small Jason Turner. Only 5'8", but that safety's got a lot of punishment to deliver. He's been a fan favorite ever since he really started showing up last season. 2nd and 14 is Harris to throw here. He connects with Loro, as that is a 13-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 1 now as the no huddle begins here for the Zips. Getting the play from the sideline. It's a handoff. No, an option. And Big Joe can't bring him down. As Harris finally brought down by Deshaun Hollis. But that is as scary as it gets. When Big Joe can't bring you down, that's a tough guy to take down. There's a new set of downs now for Akron. As that'll go incomplete over the head of the intended target and far out of bounds. Dustin Jordan was on coverage. As 2nd and 10 now, Harris looking to throw once again out of the shotgun. He connects with Newman Williams, but Richard Cruz tries to hold him up. He slows him down for just a bit and is finally brought down with the help of some other Coyotes. As 3rd and 2 here, no huddle continues. Akron goes back to the ground as it's Newman Williams, and he's got running room. Pushed out of bounds by Dustin Jordan. That's a 34-yard run by Williams. They continue the no huddle, trying to wear down this defense plenty, and it has been working as they go to the option. And Harris is brought down after a 4-yard gain. Dylan Trevor and Jason Turner combine on that tackle. 2nd and 6 as the no huddle continues to move here. Harris looks to throw. Checks down to Dixon. Dixon's got the first down and more as that is down to around the 1.5 yard line. As Jaquavis Dixon with that reception. 1st and goal, but somebody on the offensive line looked to have jumped. And that's going to push them back. That's a big plus for Sanford now, as that's going to put them in a better situation. However, you can pass better from this spot now as a handoff goes to Parker, the backup running back, as he's going to lose a yard on that one. That was Justin Moss on the tackle, the backup defensive tackle. 2nd and goal as the handoff goes to Parker, and he finds his way in. Touchdown, Akron. The Zips score first as they head down the field. That's not a good showing for the defense early. As it's our first look at the Sanford offense today, and it is a handoff for Claude Fleming. It's a 2-yard rush, as I didn't mention before. Of course, Sanford for Senior Day, rocking their all-blue attire as they've done for the past couple years. As once again another handoff to Claude Fleming. That's a gain of 4. It's a manageable 3rd and 5 as they're going to go to the air here with Patrick. He's rolling out but goes down. He couldn't find an open man, or at least an open man that he wanted to throw to quick enough, as that's going to be a big sack, a loss of around 11, and Sanford's going to have to punt early. That's the last thing this offense wanted after such a great performance last week. Carter boots this one away. Hayes to return it. And he's got a little bit of room, gets past midfield, and that's going to be a 16-yard return up to around the 48-47 yard line. 1st and 10 here for the Zips as Harris to throw. That one goes out of bounds and goes incomplete. 2nd and 10, still in the shotgun are the Zips. As Joe Harris takes the snap. He checks it down to Smith, who was on just a small little, pretty much a 5-yard zone, or a 5-yard curl for the most part. As that's going to be a reception, making it 3rd and 3. Wide open is Jaquavius Dixon. As that is a huge first down into the red zone. As it is 1st and 10 from around the 20 to the 20.5 yard line. Harris looks to throw. Wide open again. That's Loro, and that's a 21-yard touchdown reception. Well, folks, this is terrifying. It's early and it's a 14-point ball game, but Miami of Ohio currently on top of Northern Illinois. We'll be covering any updates we get on that game as the day goes on, as Claude Fleming gets the handoff here for Sanford on the start of their next possession. They're going to have to ride Fleming and Tyrone Jennings this whole day, I'll tell you that much. As they go to the option, Patrick can't find a lot though. They had that pretty much keyed up. That is a 4-yard gain, so it'll be 3rd and 2, much more manageable. Handoff goes to Fleming, and they're going to give it to him just enough for the first down. As the workhorse has gotten all the carries so far, nothing for Jennings just yet. As 1st and 10, speak of the devil, there's Tyrone Jennings getting a handoff, and that's going to be a gain of 4 for the junior. As that's nice to see. Jennings has had a solid year this year, and can't wait to see how he progresses next year. As that's a beautiful play-action pass. Duron Costello, 25 yards. The big tight end has been a huge target for Tanner Patrick this year. And it's been wonderful to see that connection. As that gets him downfield very quickly and into Zip territory. As a handoff out of the shotgun goes to Fleming on the draw. That's going to be a 3-yard gain, bringing up 2nd and 7. This may just be the last play of the first quarter here, folks, as the handoff goes to Jennings, and he is brought down after a gain of maybe half a yard. That will take us to the end of the first quarter. It's all Akron, 14-0 early. Sanford's driving, though they have an opportunity, as you're listening to Sanford Sports Radio. Welcome back, everyone, to the Sanford Sports Radio. I'm Jonathan West, and it is the beginning of the second quarter of play. Fleming gets a screen here and a beautiful catch and run, but he doesn't get enough for the first, just short. As the offense stays out there, it's 14-0 Akron on top right now, as Patrick was nearly caught in the back pretty much from running into a defender. He stumbled a bit, kept his balance, and got the first down. Great play by Tanner Patrick to make sure that first down was made. As a nice pass here to Tyrone Jennings off play action. That's a 12-yard gain and enough for the first. This team's now looking at 1st and goal. As Patrick looks to throw again, he's rolling out. He's going to take off with it, and he gets in. I believe he wanted Duron Costello initially on the tight end angle, but that did not get open at all. So after that, he just called his own number. And at that point, it's just Tanner Patrick fighting for a touchdown, and he gets it. So it is now cut in half, 7-14. As Harris on the run here, as he's looking for room, he gets a nice block. He's up past midfield. That is a 20-yard gain for Joel Harris. The freshman has speed, so you got to watch out for him. But this defense has to keep him in check, as 1st and 10 handoff goes to Newman Williams. And he's got a first down and more as he fights Jason Turner. That's a much smaller man taking on Williams. As 1st and 10 shotgun formation, the no huddle continues to roll here as a screen set up for Dixon. But Dixon doesn't get too far, only a gain of 2. As it is going to be more no huddle coming up here for Akron, as this defense trying not to wear themselves out at this point, I think, as that is a short curl there for Anthony Laurel once again, as he was sitting in the flats. That's 3rd and 2 now coming up. As the defense now ready to come at this offense, as the play came in from the sideline for Akron. Harris takes the snap. He's rolling out, and he's got room to run. That's going to be a first down and more past the 10 down to around the 7. So another big run, 14 yards for Joel Harris. 1st and goal for Akron. They got a chance to once again make this a 2-possession ball game. As it's 1st and goal out of the shotgun. Handoff goes to Newman Williams. He's bottled up quick. Flash Gibson on the tackle. The sophomore makes the big play here. And that is enormous for this team as they can get a big opportunity here. And second and goal, Harris. The rotations were made as an interception. That's Lewis McMahon, the former kick returner who wasn't returning kicks because of being the fourth corner on the depth chart this year. Gets his first interception of the year. McMahon with a beautiful interception, and that's just a poor throw by Harris. He sat down there and was just waiting. He came right to him. As on 1st and 10, Sanford takes the Herb Fellows end around for a gain of 5. As now it's going to be 2nd and 5. They go to the fullback run here for Antoine Bradford. I like that call. Right up the gut goes the big body fullback. And a gain of 5. They won't give him the first down, though, as they'll be inches short. As look at that, on 3rd and inches, they go the fullback fake halfback toss. You don't see that much as it gains 4 yards and enough for the first for Claude Fleming. That's a surprise coming from this offense. I like seeing things like that. This offense now going to chip away at the time as the flea flicker didn't work out. Down goes Patrick. As that's a big sack by Brennan Williams for Akron. As the clock will continue to tick here for Sanford. Just over 2.5 remains here in the half as the handoff goes to Tyrone Jennings, and he's brought down quick. A gain once again, maybe half a yard. 3rd and 16, shotgun formation for the Coyotes. Patrick looks to throw, and he overshoots his intended target, Herb Fellows, and that was just far too high over his head. It goes back to Akron now as they take a shot deep, as that's batted away and intercepted. Flash Gibson. I'm not sure if that was a trap catch or not, but what a play. If this stands, this is a huge interception. It was batted by Pat Riley. I almost called him Mark. It was batted by Pat Riley into the hands of Flash Gibson. The play will stand as it's a 4-yard gain for Claude Fleming. And that is enormous. This offense now has 1.5 minutes to drive downfield and get some more points. As Patrick connects with Costello here on 2nd down. That's an 11-yard gain. And out of bounds, that'll stop the clock. 1st and 10 in the shotgun. Tanner Patrick hands off to Claude Fleming. And he won't get far, just past the line of scrimmage. Maybe half a yard on that one, I'm not sure. First time out was taken from Sanford as it's a check down here to Tremaine Dangle, a gain of 4. Not the smartest throw by Patrick there, but it is enough for the completion and the 4-yard gain as Patrick goes to the screen here for Jennings now. But he can't go far. Only a gain of 1 as Akron will take a timeout. It's 4th and 5, it was 4th and 5, punted away from Sanford as now Akron can take over. Anthony Loro with a 5-yard gain there. As 39 seconds remain, it's 2nd and 5. Akron looking to do even more damage before the half. As Joel Harris on the run, brought down by Elliott Flowers, the senior defensive tackle, but not till he gains 7 yards. 1st and 10 here, shotgun formation. Harris connects with Cagle, and Cagle with an 18-yard reception. As that's a big first down. This Akron offense continues to run this no huddle. As Harris throws deep. Nearly intercepted, and that was Richard Cruz who should have came up with his 7th pick of the season. As it is 2nd and 10. Harris to throw. But he is dropped. He tried to move out of the pocket, and Chaz Turner got to him. The backup end with a sack, as this will be the last play, it looks like, of the half. As Harris takes off, brought down by the leader of that defense, Trey McLaughlin. As that will bring us to halftime. It's 14-7. Akron on top, but Sanford just has to fight their way back and find an opportunity in the second half. Welcome back to the Sanford Sports Radio, everyone, as it is the second half of play. I'm Jonathan West, as we start out with a nice option here from Sanford. The pitch went to Claude Fleming at the last moment, but a great play there, enough for the first, gain of about 11. It is 14-7 here as Sanford looking to fight back from Akron as a handoff to Tyrone Jennings, and there's a nice gain. 8 yards for Jennings here as he finally finds some room to run. 2nd and 2 as this run-heavy offense continues to bear their fangs. It's a 2-yard run here for Antoine Bradford. They're not going to give him really all that I think he got, so it'll be 3rd and 1. Play action here. Patrick to throw. He waits. He finds Antoine Bradford, and that is going to be a 15-yard gain. A nice first down there as he had time. He had to wait for an open man, and Antoine Bradford got open. Patrick was able to get that off and able to get a big first down thanks to his fullback. 1st and 10 here now as they go back to the option. It's a mistimed pitch. Patrick had plenty of running room in front of him. I don't know what made him pitch the football there, but that is an ill-timed pitch recovered by Akron. That is a huge mistake after an extremely nice drive. As a 3-yard gain there for David Broussard, as that's going to be another completion for Joel Harris. The freshman has looked fairly good today. 2nd and 7. Harris to take off here. He'll slide, though, to be safe, as that will bring up 3rd and 2 now. They continue the no huddle. The crowd, though, is rolling here in Sanford. I can hear him here up in the box as Newman Williams takes a shot. That was Pat Riley delivering a hell of a shot, and that will bring back out the offense as Claude Fleming takes the handoff, and there's the run that we've been waiting for. A nice run from Fleming right up the gut. He was just able to find a hole and made a lot out of it. As 1st and 10, they go to the option, but nobody was fooled. It is a 2-yard loss as Trevonte Junis with the tackle. 2nd and 12 is Patrick to throw here. He's rolling out, throws on the run, connects with Herb Fellows. That's a 13-yard completion in the first of the day for the senior receiver. 1st and 10 as Fleming takes off again up the gut, and that is a 10-yard gain, enough for the first down. We're starting to see Fleming really get going here now as Tyrone Jennings checks in. Over the middle, though, and that's a pick by Tanner Patrick, and that is Davis II. That's also the man who recovered the ill-timed pitch. So Jamal Davis now has a fumble recovery and an interception on Tanner Patrick. There was Waltz last year against Bowling Green who seemed to have Patrick's number. Maybe Davis is a guy as well that's got his number. As Akron's offense back out on the field, it's a reception for Cagle who took it in the flats there, a gain of 2. As the no huddle continues, 2nd and 8. Akron in the shotgun. Harris dropping back, looking to take off. He's finally brought down. That's Big Joe Irvin, who brings him down after the gain of 4. 3rd and 4 with just over 2 minutes left here in the third quarter of play. Harris takes the snap out of the shotgun. He's looking to find some time, can't find it, as that is a sack for Big Joe Irvin. He'll add another one onto the season. I believe that's number 7 or 8 on the season, as that is great for the big defensive end. So with a minute and a half left, this offense gets the football back with a 2-yard run here from Tyrone Jennings. They have to make something out of this last minute, if you ask me. We need to see something positive, as that's not positive. A loss of 1 for Claude Fleming. He was bottled up quickly. Trevante Junis, the man who brought him down. As 3rd and 9 here, this looks like this could end the third quarter. Patrick rolling out, and he's brought down a shoestring tackle, and that's going to be a sack for a loss of 3. It looks like it's going to come down to the fourth quarter, folks. This Sanford offense has been held in check very well by the Akron defense. As that will take us to the end of the third quarter. Akron on top, 14-7 over Sanford. Your fourth quarter, folks, is coming up just after this. You're listening to the Sanford Sports Radio. It's the fourth quarter of play here, folks. Welcome back to the Sanford Sports Radio as Joel Harris takes off here, and the freshman quarterback of Akron gets another gain with his legs. It's an 8-yard gain brought down by Jason Turner. 2nd and 2 as Harris looks to do some damage here once again with his legs, as that's going to be a 5-yard gain on the option. Enough for the first down and more as the no huddle begins again as they go to a tunnel screen here for Dixon. That's going to be a gain of 7. He's been a reliable target so far today, as that brings up 2nd and 3. Joel Harris out of the shotgun. Once again, another screen set up. This is Broussard, as he's got a 5-yard gain and enough for the first. As Akron just can't seem to be stopped right now. They're driving down with ease. 1st and 10. Harris connects with Loro over the middle. That's a 9-yard gain on the slant pattern. This defense is having a hard time covering anybody. 2nd and 1, shotgun formation after the no huddle. Loro again on another slant pattern. It's a 9-yard gain, and they are down inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal here for Akron. Shotgun formation as they allowed for some substitutions to be made. Nate Jing comes in the rotation, makes some pressure there. As down goes, I believe that's, yes, Stewart, brought down by Flash Gibson. I'm sorry, James Parker, not Stewart. I don't know what I'm talking about. As James Parker brought down, it's 2nd and goal. They keep Parker in the ball game, and he's brought down again after a gain of 5. That's Dylan Trevor that finished the job there. 3rd and goal as they continue this no huddle in the shotgun. Harris rolling out. He's taking off, brought down. That's Dylan Trevor. The hometown boy, the sophomore, picks up the big tackle there. Well, I'm sorry, not even a tackle, a sack. I believe that's Trevor's first sack of the year. Maybe his second, but nonetheless a big play by the hometown kid. And I'm sorry, he's not a sophomore, he is a freshman. As a flag here, though, on the field goal, it's going to be a false start. As Akron going to get moved back here. 4th and goal. The kick is up. It is good, and Akron takes back a 2-possession lead. As this one gets booted away to Patrick Jackson. He's got an opportunity to return here. Has some nice blocks, breaks off of one would-be tackler. Gets away from defenders. He's got running room. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Sanford. Patrick Jackson takes it 95 yards. That is huge. That Akron touchdown doesn't mean a thing now as Patrick Jackson responds with a big kickoff return. It's 14-17 now, as Akron maybe feeling a little bit of pressure now that the special teams of Sanford has gotten something done. It's Newman Williams with a nice run here. The only bad part is that is a tired defense out there on the field. Second and inches here as they go option. Harris takes it, and a nice 6-yard gain, enough for the first, brought down by Turner. First and 10 as the no huddle continues. Harris looks to throw here over the middle. Can't connect with Dixon, as that's going to fall incomplete and could have been intercepted. Second and 10. Harris looks to throw. He's going to roll out instead. Brought down. That's a sack by Flash Gibson. This defense, I think they're starting to feel it. You can see it a bit, as that brings up third and long and 3rd and 12. Shotgun formation for Akron. Some substitutions have been made. The rotation is going as a screen, and that's not going anywhere. Big Joe Irvin sniffs that one out. The sophomore defensive end doing what he does best, and that is killing a big opportunity. As 1st and 10 here for Sanford. Handoff goes to Claude Fleming, as it was a option call there. So Tanner Patrick got to make the decision. He made the smart one, giving it to Fleming. As 2nd and 4, the handoff goes to Tyrone Jennings. That'll be a loss of 1 as Brock's Boxen takes him down. 3rd and 5 here now, as Patrick takes off on the option. He's got running room, and that is enough for the first down. Gain of 12. Less than 2.5 remains as Patrick pitches this one off to Claude Fleming. He doesn't find a lot of room on that one. That is a loss of 1. Not often we see him pitch the ball to Fleming. He's better with just a solid handoff. It hasn't been a bad day, though, for Claude Fleming, averaging 5 yards per carry. As a minute and a half remains here in the ball game, Patrick looks to throw, play action, as that is Bell, and an interception by Sanford. Brian Bell, the outside linebacker, with the interception, as he was playing as tight coverage as you can get on Duran Costello. Tanner Patrick had too much confidence thinking he could get that over Bell. He just couldn't. As that is a normal Patrick mistake, they're forcing that throw, as the defense now has to bring this team back. As Trey McLaughlin with the tackle there. First timeout taken by Sanford. Newman Williams with another carry here, as that's a gain of 5. Another timeout taken by Sanford, as it is 3rd and 7. The pistol handoff goes to Newman Williams. 4-yard gain, and the final timeout taken by Sanford. With a minute and 12 seconds, this offense has to drive down with no timeouts. Deep ball to Costello. He got behind the defense. 48 yards. We're in zip territory. An interception was thrown towards Duran Costello. Next throw goes to Costello. This time it's a beautiful play. No interception, but big yards as Patrick takes the snap again out of shotgun. The clock is still moving, though, as Dingle gets a 7-yard reception here. As the young receivers have to make something happen here. Less than 30 seconds as Patrick, looking for his intended target, connects with Herb Fellows, the senior. He's going to be called upon here with the game on the line and less than 30 seconds to go. He's out of bounds after that first down reception. 22 seconds with the clock stopped. As Patrick, same play, that corner route. 13-yard reception, and that's a first down. They're at the 4-yard line, and it looks like they're in their goal line package. pitch goes out to Fleming. A nice block on the outside. Touchdown, Sanford! Fleming dives into the end zone, making sure that no matter the tackle, he's in. It's 21-17, 15 seconds. Harris goes down. That's a loss of 4. Big Joe Irvin, that is sack number 8 on the season. 2nd and 14. Broussard with the reception, but that's not going to be a lot. That's going to set up a Hail Mary chance here with 6 seconds left. 1st and 10. Harris looks to throw. He can't connect with Broussard again. That brings up 2 seconds left with 2nd and 10. This is the game, folks. One Hail Mary chance for the freshman as Harris tosses it deep. And it's batted away. No good. Senior Ronnie Hansen on the deflection. Game over. Somehow, some way, Sanford pulls off really their only offense of the game for the most part within a minute and 17 seconds. That last drive was literally the drive, I think, of not only Patrick's career here at Sanford, but her fellows, Claude Fleming, the rest of this offense, Duran Costello, Termaine Dingle, all these guys that got involved in that drive. That was the biggest drive of their career. This team has played well on senior day. They are undefeated when the seniors have to show off, when it's the last day, when they're playing for the seniors of this football team. And that's what that last drive was. Whether it was a senior in Herb Fellows making a play, or one of the younger guys in the juniors and sophomores making the big play, whether it be Costello, Fleming, or Tanner Patrick. An absolutely phenomenal game by this Sanford team late, and they deserve that win after just, I can't make the reference to Mama Said Knock You Out because that was a definite comeback. A huge win for Sanford. Final once again here from the Den. 21-17 Sanford over Akron in a hell of a final minute and 17 seconds. Thank you folks for listening. You've been listening to Sanford Sports Radio. I'm Jonathan West, and we will see you next week.